when I was exploring the map, people are on their mounts, and I'm like just sitting here walking, and mounts are zooming by me, and I'm like, oh. So I ended up buying the DLC so I could get my mount. I got pressured. I got pressured. All right, so I don't think it's a surprise that New World Aeternum is absolutely killing it right now on console. It's a 4.5 out of 5 on Xbox and a 4.2 out of 5 on PlayStation. But pretty much everything that I've seen and read, the console community is just loving this game, and I mean, rightfully so, right? I do think there's a caveat to that though, right? These ratings are probably based on that kind of that fresh new player journey, and not so much kind of on that in-game aspect, which those same ratings could potentially change in a few months once they get to in-game. Maybe, I don't know. Now for me, I haven't played this game since the launch about 3 years ago on PC. And man, they've really have changed this game. And I'm having a lot of fun right now on PC than compared to 3 years ago. But I have no idea how the in-game feels. A lot of the veterans, it seems like they're not really too happy about the in-game. But at least it looks like there's some content to do at in-game, like open world PvP, arenas, territory wars, the new raid that came out, dungeons, and just kind of, general mob grinding at different zones, kind of exploring the world. But I'm not entirely sure how it feels once you get to that point. But I do know, at least right now for me, that this game is really fun. I'm having a blast. And, honestly, this game that we have right now is probably the game that should have released 3 years ago. So I guess maybe the PC players have just kind of been in open beta until now. But I mean, seriously though, if you haven't checked out New World Aeternum, then I highly encourage you to do that. I think you would be surprised, and I think it's definitely worth the $60. I definitely think you can get your money's worth out of it for how many hours you can play with this game. But for some of these console players, this is kind of their first ever MMO, which kind of creates a unique experience, kind of being in a open, lively world, which is just different than kind of playing a single player game, right? But consoles don't really have access to that many MMOs anyway, right? I mean, there's Black Desert Online, which recently hasn't been doing very well, and then there's Throne and Liberty that just released, and I would probably say you would probably have a better experience with New World than Throne and Liberty. There's Final Fantasy XIV, which I would still probably lean towards more New World. And then the other one would be Elder Scrolls Online, which I think is probably the best MMO for consoles, in my opinion, at least before New World Aeternum was released. But I really like Elder Scrolls Online. I think the graphics and the life scaling in ESO is probably not as good as New Worlds. However, Elder Scrolls Online probably has one of the best questing and lore experience, and just has more content in general, just because it's kind of been around much longer. Now for the combat for an MMO, right, that kind of just depends on your preference. So if we go back to ESO, right, a lot of people seem like they don't really care about ESO's combat, but I actually really like it, and I think it feels really good on a controller too. And I think if we compare it to New World, I think New World's combat is really good as well. I didn't think at first I would like New World's combat with only having like 6 skills, and then not liking the skills being on like a 15 to 20 second cooldown, but it's actually really not that bad. And the skills do come up much sooner. And I think once you realize the impact on how much damage you can get with heavy attacks, then you kind of really start to realize how important your skills and your heavy attacks are, and just kind of combining those two. Because for me, I always thought that the light and heavy attacks were just kind of pointless. And so I always wanted to use my skills, and, just don't really, the light and heavy attack skills just don't really do much damage. But that's definitely not the case. But yeah, I think the combat feels really good, and it feels really good on a controller too. Like this game, I think is just perfect for console, but If you're a console player, let me know if you're liking New World Aeternum so far, and if so, what's kind of been the best part for you? And if you've played other multiple MMOs on a console, do you think New World tops the other one? Also, if you're a returning PC player, are you enjoying New World? But with all of that, let's go ahead and finally take a look at this post. All right, so review for New World Aeternum on Xbox, PS5, and Steam. You know, I kind of forgot to mention Steam at the beginning of my video. RIP. This post was 8 days ago. So I did a little bit of research to kind of see if anything's changed. And we'll take a look at the numbers as of right now, like today. But this person says, pretty cool to see console players being open to the 5-star rating. Hope the Steam reviews don't scare off new players. Happy gaming, everybody. And here so this was the Xbox review 8 days ago. So you can see a 4.7. Like, that's pretty crazy. Now, granted, it's still really fresh, right? And so we'll look at the numbers now, and it's definitely changed. But yeah, I mean, that's really good. And I think also too, like with reviews, I feel like most people, at least this is just kind of how I think about it, because this is how I do it. I usually don't leave a review. Even if it's like really good, I just don't leave a review. Only time I leave a review if it's something that I just can't stand or I hate. And then usually I will leave a review. So I think it's pretty good to see this number, given the fact that people are actually giving reviews, right? So 4.7 for Xbox. This is for PlayStation, so 4.22. It's also kind of crazy to see like the difference. I mean, obviously PlayStation is a lot more popular, especially with Xbox and Microsoft here recently, you know, probably within the past year, kind of changing their whole model of like exclusive releases and whatnot. But yeah, 353 for Xbox, and then a whopping 1500 for PlayStation. And then this, I guess that's Steam is the next one here. Yeah, so 68% all time. I guess that's not too bad. And then, wow, that's kind of surprising. 64% recent. Huh. That's actually pretty surprising for the most recent for PC players. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a blast. I'm having a lot of fun. Like I mentioned earlier, right, 3 years ago. Huge difference. An absolute huge difference. So if we look at the reviews currently, so let's go to PlayStation. So PlayStation really hasn't changed much. Still a 4.2 rating, and now it's got like 600 more ratings to it. So still really good. It's kind of leveled out, right? What was it before? Yeah, 4.2. So it hasn't changed at all, right? So it's still about the same. So that's really good. Xbox is currently a 4.5. Wow. So it's kind of dropped a couple points, and it's only gained like another 100 and something reviews. So, well, because what was it before? 353. So yeah, like 120 reviews more. So it's kind of surprising that it dropped there. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe as this number goes up, if it does, if it will kind of normalize to what PlayStation is. But I think overall, being over a 4 in general is really good. I wish it was out of a scale of 10 though. Like I'm just I don't know. Out of 5, like there's just not much of a range there. So I'm not really like used to like gauging how a out of 5 rating is. But I think overall, I think it's been a big positive launch for Amazon games with the console aspect. So let's take a look here at the commenters. New World is awesome. All Amazon needs to do now is deliver on a roadmap and content. Yeah, I think that's kind of the two big things that I've been seeing here recently is we need a roadmap and a roadmap laying out future content. I had like 1.3k hours before Aeternum and loved it before, but I'm so thrilled it's had a last lifeline given to the game. So this person was a PC player, and they've had, wow, 1.3k hour. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of hours right before Aeternum was released. So PC player, right? I don't know if this person is playing on Xbox now or PlayStation, you know, whatever console they may have or may play on, or if they're just going back to playing on PC. But either way, you know, that's a good thing right there. truly hope they know they have something here and we're working and are working on things to deliver. I feel like I got my money's worth regardless. Yeah, I agree. 100%. I definitely think it's worth the $60. Now, for me, because I bought it 3 years ago, I didn't have to pay anything. However, when I was exploring the map, people are on their mounts, and I'm like, just sitting here walking, and mounts are zooming by me, and I'm like, oh. So I ended up buying the DLC so I could get my mount. I got pressured. I got pressured. Uh, that's the thing. I paid like 2 cents per hour. I'm happy. 2 cents. Let's see. In this subreddit, you aren't allowed to be happy with the hundreds of hours of gameplay. Oh gosh. Gotta love Reddit. That's the thing that kills me. Maybe I've just got a totally different mindset, but if I pay $50 for a game and get hundreds of thousands of hours of playtime out of it, I'll consider that money well spent. Yeah. But most of the negative Steam reviews I've seen are from people with hundreds, if not thousands of hours of playtime complaining about the most things without any sense of irony. Yeah. While I think that's a problem, it's an issue with the Steam's review system too. It's essentially a 1-star or a 5-star system with no room or any sort of middle ground. Yeah, I mean, that is always interesting, right? You get people who will do like a 0 out of 5 or I don't even know how I guess maybe it's a 1 out of 5. I don't know. I guess it would be a 1 out of 5, but you get people who rate it really low but they have like thousands of hours. And so it's always kind of interesting because you would think after a certain extent, once you get to kind of end game, because I mean, I don't know how long it technically takes to get to end game, but I would assume once you get at least 100 hours into the game, you're kind of there. And I mean, that would probably be a good time to give a good review. But when you have like thousands of hours, I don't know. At that point, it's if you don't like it, you probably should just go find another game. But I can understand too, as well, like especially like with BDO, right? You put so many hours into the game and you're so passionate about the game, and so you give it a negative review to hopefully get the developers to like wake up and like, hey, we need this in the game. Like you have a great game, you have a good foundation, but we just need just a little extra, and this one specific thing or one specific content could really make a huge difference. And it's frustrating for people. So I can also understand that as well. Maybe if you spend countless hours on the game without getting rewarded for your time, always hoping for improvement just to notice at some point that what you hoped for expected will never come, maybe that makes you eligible to complain about the game. Yeah, so it's kind of what I just said, right? So it's more the people who leave a negative review of like they love the game, but they just want it to be better. Just the fact that I spent a lot of hours on it doesn't mean it's good. I also spent countless hours waiting for public transport, yet I'm still eager to praise delayed trains, let alone spend money for the opportunity to stand around. So this is a little bit different because at the end of the day, it's a game. So you have the choice if you want to play it or not. When it comes to like something that you actually, it kind of goes into the realm of like wants and needs. And so playing a game is really not a need. It's just more of kind of a want, right? But transportation, like you need that in order to get to your job or to get to your groceries. And so that's just one of those things that kind of comes with that in order for something that you have to do. And that might mean that you have to wait for countless hours for public transportation if that's all you have access to. So that's a little bit different with that. But I can still see where this person's coming from for sure. Brother, you need to wait for transit to live your life. Nobody's locking you on the computer to play this game. Yeah, exactly. See? Yeah. Right? Like it's you don't have to play the game, right? But you have to use transportation to get you somewhere in order to get groceries, right? To live or go to a medical appointment, whatever it may be. You choose to spend your hours on it. You enjoyed it while you did, lol. Goodness. My man, get help. Nah, thanks, I'm fine. Just cut New World out of your life and you're good to go. Kind of sad seeing people have like 7K hours and complain that the game is not good. 0.009 cent per hour, my man. uh, I don't think anyone really hates New World. I played it for a month on initial release, got my money's worth, but nothing for me later. Back to League of Legends to PvP. I mean, hey, that's fair, right? I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Go play something that you really enjoy. I mean, that's the important thing, especially with games. You got to enjoy. You gotta enjoy what you're playing. The thing is, this is supposed to be a finished game, right? Aren't roadmaps typically for early access games? No. Live service games too. It could also be used for online live service games to show up upcoming seasons, things like that. I really like roadmaps. I think Elder Scrolls Online does a really good job of having a solid roadmap and kind of giving you or laying out the details of what the next content's going to be like for each quarter. All right, that makes sense. I mean, that was the original launch problem too. It's great at the start, no reason to play grind at the end. Yeah, and yeah. I mean, I haven't reached endgame, so I can't really speak on that. Just I only have like kind of what in-game players have said. And, I wonder if things will change a little bit with Aeternum, with them releasing a raid. Maybe that will be more entertaining. And they also released like a full-time like PvP island that you can go to, or not really an island, but a PvP territory that you can go to. And so maybe that will also encourage like in-game players to do that just for different, more fun content. This is a huge chance for Amazon to invest and go for it. They have a momentum with New World. It's just right. They had the momentum and second win after release of the DLC with close to a million concurrent players. Really? I mean, it got pretty high when the game first released, but kind of after everyone realized what the game was, yeah, it kind of dropped significantly. And I didn't check the game out when it released its DLC. They squandered it with never-ending server issues, complete lack of vision for in-game. Yeah, see, in-game keeps coming up. I really want New World to succeed, and I'll hold my fingers crossed, but I'm not too optimistic that Amazon Games will capitalize on this relaunch. Same. Yeah. I mean, he got a bunch of upvotes on that. The biggest thing that drove me away was how laggy the PvP was and how there wasn't much of an in-game unless a huge party just steamrolled the in-game zones. If you didn't have a big group, there wasn't much you could do. We have a fix for influence races. Also, Amazon Games, only 20 players from each faction are allowed to be in range of an objective. Everyone else will be teleported out. I guess maybe that's what they did to help with the lag, I guess. Is this true? That's what they did early on after the Angry Earth expansion. People were having issues with performance around objectives, so they massively limited the number of people allowed. Soon after, they made it so you could actually see a warning if you would be ported out instead of just getting ported. They eventually increased the limit. That's kind of crazy. Huh. I really want New World to succeed. I'll hold my fingers crossed, but yeah, that's why all PC players keep spending their time to trash talk a game they played for thousands of hours. You just want the game to succeed. Makes sense. You guys are like a bitter ex who just can't let go. Oh no. Oh no. Can we just all be friends? Can console players and PC players be friends? Gosh. They didn't get anywhere close to 1 million concurrent, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think 1 million. I know when it first released, it got pretty close to 1 million. But yeah. I doubt they will do too much with this game. Most of the New World dev are working on the Lord of the Rings MMORPG. That's right, they are working on that, aren't they? Huh. I wonder where they're at with that. Most of us are willing to walk away from New World if an even better Lord of the Rings MMO comes out. 100%. Current Lord of the Rings is just so legendary. I'll still come back to it every now and then. There's no other MMO with such an atmosphere. I never played it. How do you know this? Unless you work for Amazon Games, there's no way to know this. How do you know? I'm not gonna click that. Where does it say that most of the New World dev team are working on it? Calling new more popular is an interesting twist. Isn't popular. Having 10K for a couple years now would consist of being popular, I'd say. Let's see. Where am I at? This is not an or. This is an and, meaning the office was expanded and different people were working on each MMO. You know, it's possible to hire people, right? Pretty sure it was canceled. It was, but they started working on it again. Okay. We're going down a rabbit hole there. I feel like we have been here before and before and before and before and before and before. Oh gosh, it continues. Oh, what happened to it? And before and before. That was a funny little chain there. I like that. Doomed to repeat it. My friend loves this game and I've been enjoying it. He wants an actual end game, as apparently, despite the updates they've done to rework the beginning level, end game is still meh. I also wish transmog wasn't locked behind money, which I'm so tired of. Yeah, that's so stupid. I did see that too. I don't know why that's even a thing. Like at least this game's not like pay to win where you can't buy for power. But to have like transmog locked behind a paywall, like I wish there was just another way you could like try to monetize. Like just do more costumes, more cosmetics. People love cosmetics. Give us cool armors, right? Pre-made sold outfits, I understand. Selling me the ability to turn armor I get into transmog is garbage no matter what game. Yeah. I think my big issue is that for me as a mostly console only player, I had to pay $90 Canadian dollars to play. That's kind of crazy. But if it want to look pretty or cool, I have to potentially dump more money even further. Yeah, I'd be more open-minded and willing if the game was free to play with no paid DLCs. Wait, free to play? Open-minded is free to play? Yeah. I mean, I like the current model that Amazon has. So, you know, if you go down that free to play route, like they're going to have to monetize it some way. And that's going to be probably very scummy ways of what we don't want. I don't know if there's a way to get the transmog stuff or if I'm completely wrong. But from what I'm seeing, I have to pay to use. Wait till you play Throne and Liberty. Unless they change it, you'd be able to get transmog tokens from elite chests and dungeons, limited to 1 per week. Pretty rare to find, but if you're doing these activities a few days a week, you'll be likely to pick them up every now and then. That'd be a good alternative. Yeah. They changed it. They removed them from the chest in the end of mutateds. Was that changes with Aeternum specifically? I got one from the night before Aeternum released. Yeah, it was a change with Aeternum. The only way to obtain is via season pass or money. Gotta buy that season pass. That's a shame. That is a shame. Wow. Glad I read this post about transmog being paid walled. That's actually insane. I was thinking about rebuying on console, but not anymore. Wow, yeah. Same. I already had New World and was considering buying the DLC. A big portion of MMOs for me is a collection of items for fashion, whether it's from in-game or doing activities to get premium currency for buying cash shop stuff. But I can't even get transmog without buying it from the cash shop. That's going to be a huge deterrent. Yeah. I'll likely keep playing for now since it's traditional to have kind of mismatched gear while leveling up for me, and the leveling is phenomenal so far. 100% agree. The whole leveling process has been amazing. The questing has been great. The cinematics have been great. It's just been a really good experience so far. But if that transmog situation doesn't change, I'll likely be going elsewhere. You can just dye event skins. I have abundance of transmog tokens I've never used. Did it change with Aeternum? I was mentioning the only way to get them is through the cash shop. Yes, this is correct. What I'm saying is I have them and never ever use them, one, because you don't necessarily need them to customize your look in Aeternum. Yeah, just buy skins. Okay, so continuing on. Third relaunch. Surely this time it will be different. Yep. Without an ounce of a doubt. I sure hope so. I'm back in, this time on Xbox. I'm enjoying it so far. Granted, nothing new just yet until level cap. I got some friends who never played MMOs before, So that's a plus. That's cool. I hope the woes from before have been addressed, content, faction balance, etc. I don't know. I've never heard about the second relaunch. They definitely put more effort into marketing this time around, at least. Cool, you guys are less than a week in. Fresh Start is extremely fun, but for legacy servers, they barely got an extension to the gameplay loop. They got a single player raid, or they got a single raid that they have to repeat for gear and a PvP island, PvE spot. To be honest, there's no reason to play on the legacy. No reason to play, period. I still play weekly before this update. I logged in, they changed the interface into such crap. I'm on PC, not a console. Amazon Games sucks. I don't have to do tab. I have a mouse. The MSQ requires the 10-man raid with randoms who don't know the raid. Can't even get past the first boss. Tried several days numerous times. As a 65 700 gear score tank, I hold the boss red the whole time, but the DPS and healers are constantly getting knocked. Always buy the battle pass, not the season. Not wasting more money on this. Maybe take a break and come back in a month. And randoms, well, I figured the raid out and I can do the MSQ. Another big complaint was the remove grit from light attacks. Makes tanking a lot harder, getting tossed around by the boss. I get it in PvP, grit all the time, that was a problem, but in PvE, when it's the tank's job to hold the boss steady and the only way to get knocked down around is with grit, and they made it harder. All right, what a post. Yeah. Man with thousands of hours in game and has done everything in the game is bored. Shocker. Oh no. Exactly. I start reading his arguments and my mind just slowly trailed off. Don't you know that you weren't supposed to play it for thousands of hours? Have you ever played an MMO before? These are exactly the types of games that you should be able to play almost endlessly. Yeah. I mean, I play Black Desert Online and I have about 10,000 hours into that game. So since 2016 though, okay, give me grace. Since 2016. But yeah, I mean, that game right there is, you're talking about a sandbox MMO. You can grind all you want. All you want. No limit. Bunch of 5-star reviews from people that have been playing a few days isn't all that helpful. It's kind of like reviewing a movie based upon the opening credit sequence. I mean, makes a fair point, I guess. Makes a fair point. It's more like giving a review score for an entire TV series just because you watched the first 2 episodes. Yeah, things could change in that series. You never know if the people working on it are going to mess it up, like in the Netflix. Yeah, The Witcher, that's true. Like season, 1 and 2 was good, and I think season 3, like, not so much. I only watched the first season, though, so I can't really speak too much on that. Yeah, but seeing people with thousands of hours give negative reviews is just silly. It's like a person watching and rewatching a film dozens of times and then saying, worst film I've ever seen, no one should bother it. Gosh, the Samurai movie with Tom Cruise. I think I've watched that thing like 10 times. But granted, I would never give it a negative review, but I kind of like that. I like that example there. I think it just kind of goes back to people who are giving those reviews is they're very passionate about the game and they love the game and they want to see it do better. And I feel like maybe the only way they think they can get their point across is by giving it a negative review so the developers can kind of see it. So I could see both points for sure. Rewatching a film dozen times is like leveling up dozen times tunes to max level. If said reviewer has only one character with thousands of hours, it's more like them watching TWD where the plot is basically the same every season. So after watching season 1 to season 6, you're going to be like, this is the same thing over and over again, and they're not going to change. And then leave a review. Console players are still in their honeymoon phase. I played on PC when it first came out, restarted again on my Xbox. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, I don't even own a console anymore. That day, I really wanted the Xbox, the new one, but at the time they were just sold out and you could never get one. And yeah, I just never tried to get another one. So wait until they start queuing 3v3s and constantly matchmake against nerds with completely besting your slot and 3 years of game knowledge against their 7-day-old count. Let's see the reviews then. Cannot believe Amazon didn't separate matchmaking the first few weeks. But don't they scale the gear? Like, don't they scale the gear? Now, the skills, yes. If you don't have all your skills set, for sure. But I've been doing a lot of 3v3s and I haven't had any issues at all. Been having actually a lot of fun with them. Because usually I'll just do questing and then do the 3v3 arena, and it maybe takes like anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to get into a game. So I'm just like questing while, like, before it pops up. Most MMO players don't do PvP anyway. Yeah. Even if I do get totally owned, I think it's just says one thing: I need to improve. It's not the game, it's me issue. I don't review FPS because some sweat killed me and ruined one lobby. It's absolutely true for session game like CS or League. However, in an MO, the gap is widened because experienced players have both skill and gear. Sure, skill, but I mean, you can get, that skill is for a lot of different games, right? League of Legends, Call of Duty, you have to practice to get that skill. But unless you're probably like doing like open world PvP, I don't think the gear is really relevant for 3v3 arenas or even like the outpost rush. I'm pretty sure that gear's scaled anyway. New players get stomped a lot harder, and a bigger percentage will just give up PvP rather than trying to close that gap. They really shouldn't separate it for a while. Separate it for a bit while population can support it. Yeah, unless I guess maybe the best in slot gear has specific traits attached to them. Maybe that's what this person's talking about, is like the traits that are with the best in slot gear that gives you like more percentages. I can see that now. Yeah, I can see that if that's the case. I don't know too much about it though, so if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. Someone leaves a bad review because they got beat in PvP, it would be very easy to dismiss that. It turns out it's a fun game if you don't instantly grind max level and spend 80 hours and 80 hours on the game. Who'd have thought PC is a bunch of sweaty tryhards? Oh no. I played games 50 years, and in 50 years playing games, this is the most satisfying game experience I'm having these days. Since Witcher 3, I don't see anything cool like this game. Pretty much in console gamer these years, played a lot of PC games, and for real, this is the best console game of 2024. 22 upvotes. And a lot of people agree with them on that one, or agree with this person on that one. Console players equals new and no clue about the fantastic in-game experience. PC players, empty promises for 3+ years. Hey, us PC players have just been in open beta. Okay? Surely things are going to change. This shows early game versus late game. Let's come back in a few months and see how the game scores then, when the console players have played at the end game for a while and are waiting for server merge or transfers. Yeah, it's hard to tell what it's going to look in a few months for end game. Who knows? Maybe Amazon will come out with a roadmap laying out end game content. Wishful thinking, maybe. This time it will happen even faster, considering how stupidly fast leveling is right now. I think you're discounting the console players who came into thinking APRG more than an MMO. That's a good point. I expect there are more than a few who will play it like one. Yeah, you beat the game until a DLC comes out, and until then you put it away and play something else. That is a good point, right? You kind of think of it more of like a Witcher type game, where you just kind of play it until you like finish the story, and then you might check it out again if another DLC comes. Yeah. It's exactly what console players are used to. They won't start hating when they've done all the current content. They'll move on and come back. I agree, and without any kind of subscription, it's the perfect game for that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is a console-centric experience, nor an ARPG-centric one. Players do the same on tons of other games, from FPS to ARPGs and even other MMOs. I don't know. 13 more replies. As long as they push out new content updates the players have been asked for, I think it'll continue to do all right, but time will tell. I have news for you. Yeah, that'd be nice. We've been over 1 year without any content or updates, so let's hope they're going to listen this time around. Yeah. Only time is going to tell. I see on Steam people reviewing after playing 2 to 3 hours with random words as positive. Are they just spamming positive reviews kind of bots? Wait, really? Amazon brings the bots out when they need good PR. No. Wish they'd spend that amount on game development instead of the bots. Oh no. They've been doing this for years. I've been playing on my Steam Deck, and man, they did a great job for this console for sure. It's the honeymoon period. Wait until you hit the end game for a few months. Yeah, so everything is like end game, right? End game, end game, end game. So time will tell. PC is the most toxic platform, so the reviews kind of just show that. I'm a PC player. I don't think I'm toxic. I try to be nice to everyone. I played around 500 hours when it first released. This is the first time playing this much PvP in like 50 hours. I'm having more fun than I did before. The game now feels complete. Good call. I'm releasing it on console now. There you go. Wow, 500 hours when it released. I'm not gonna lie. When this game first released, I couldn't even make it past like level 16. It was rough. So for this person to put 500 hours into it, kudos to them. Wow. Why is anyone surprised? For console, this is an AA MMO, hands down. I hate to say this, but I think PC gamers have been beta testing a console MMO for years and weren't aware of it. Maybe. Did no one notice this during the beta last month? Almost everyone thought the talking points were about the changes to the game. No. The talking points were about what the Xbox and PlayStation players thought about the game last month. And they loved it. And Amazon knows this. And heck, they even have a system in place to protect this. Y'all know where will be dedicated console only servers, which in my opinion is overkill. I don't agree with, but it shows Amazon intentions with how they are marketing their own game. Yeah, just because PC players can play it and just because they played it before, is it really designed for the PC gamer in mind or the console gamer? I don't know. Just food for thought. That's definitely a good point there. Console players haven't had to deal with 3 years of no content and broken updates. Love the game, but man, the devs never fail to disappoint. Honeymoon phase. For some, the rating of the game will change in a few weeks, which actually it has. I mean, it has, right? We looked at it here earlier, and Xbox went from 4.7 down to 4.5, after a week. So I'm sure it will continue to go down a little bit. This thread is full of hurt people complaining that others are actually enjoying themselves in the game. Think about that for a moment. You're complaining that someone else is having fun in a game. That's pathetic. Wait for it. Just keep waiting. It's gonna be hilarious in a month when everyone hits in game and the reviews bomb into nothing. Well, they haven't been trampled on for 3 years like PC players have. The shine will wear off the game fast when they find out what the end game is, or rather what it isn't. I'm glad folks are enjoying a game new to them. Reviews don't really mean much at this time. Steam reviews go back to the beginning, and it has been a rocky road. Console reviews are still in the honeymoon phase. The only review that matters to me is my own experience. Ooh, that is a solid sentence right there. The only review that matters to me is my own experience. Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about your own preference, what you enjoy about the game. Yeah, it's easy to give a 5-star when it just came out for you a week ago. LOL. New World was always fun while leveling. I don't think anyone complained about that. I couldn't do the leveling when it first released. I don't know if they've changed the leveling since then, but like the first month, or I guess maybe first couple weeks I played New World, I just could not do it. Just in game, no one had time to even really get there on console. What's funny is the PC players have 500 plus hours in the game, complaining with downvotes. Like, dude, you paid $50, you got 500 plus hours worth of content with no pay to win. There it is, yeah, no pay to win, no monthly sub. Yep, it's real good. It's far from perfect, but generally feels like one of the few MMOs that respects my time. Constant gear drops, constant experience, nice mobility vaulting, deep but clear crafting, simple yet deep combat. This game has a lot of flaws that deserve to be talked about, but the Steam reviews kind of reflect that. Ridiculous PC base. People are not recommending the entire game as a whole because of the bad UI. Wait, really? People think the UI is bad? I actually really like the UI. Huh. Yeah, I think the UI is super clean. People are not recommending the game because the mounts from the DLC are needed to be paid for the entire game because of paid DLC content. One is not recommending the game because he got banned the entire game because he got not recommending the entire game because Amazon started advertising it before. The game has its real flaws, buggy quests, cutscenes, making PvP flagged. players vulnerable, the in-game still needs work, etc. Some reviews reflect that, but the vast majority of negative reviews are quite shallow. It's hilarious to that people with hundreds of hours don't realize they absolutely got their money's worth with this game, but still don't suggest people play it. Like, come on. I don't think that it's fair to blame the ridiculous PC base. People don't recommend from their own personal basis, yes, the entire game. My only suggestion, wait, let's see how they treat this potential save they may have. Pray they don't have another June 7th moment, then find out they are pointing the game to mobile. Oh no, mobile. And we get nothing till then. Imagine seeing the mobile players talking about the ridiculous PC and console players. Oh, could you imagine? There ain't no way mobile. That'd be crazy. I wouldn't recommend this game. People with ultra wide monitors because of the UI. They removed ultra wide support, and now the UI covers the entire center of my screen. It's awful. Oh, that's weird. Maybe they're talking about the UI because it's not really very customizable. I guess like you. That's one. I guess that is one negative, one drawback is that you literally can, at least from what I've been trying to figure out, you can't really move or change the UI. It's kind of like stuck. So maybe that's what it is. You can't customize the UI, or maybe you can. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments if you can. I don't think you can though. A lot of us got banned for wrong reasons. If you mass report someone on the early days, they would get banned. That's that. That is not good. It was a common tactic to prior to war to get the best players from the other faction banned. What? It took anywhere from a day to weeks to get unbanned. Dude, that is toxic. That is toxic. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's I wonder if that's still in the game. Hopefully that is fixed. Wow. Honestly, as a PC player, now using my Steam Deck to play instead of my PC, I'd say it's likely the best MMO for console. Final Fantasy maybe is a good MMO, but a little clunky for console. New World feels really good on controller, and it's casual friendly. Yeah. For the first 100 to 300 hours, depending on your playstyle, the game is 5 out of 5, especially after recent improvements. I think very few people would disagree. I'm digging the crap out of this game. I was very interested when it released on PC. I just don't have one, so I'm having it on the console. It's great. Even better is that it was ported with care and thoughtfulness towards making it a whole worthwhile console game. It would still probably be a decent game if it was a reasonably lazy port. This was not a lazy port. View more comments. Nice. We are not going to view more comments because that right there is a lot. Whew. Wow. All right. I was not expecting for that to be that long. Yeah. So we'll see. All right, we'll see how the reviews continue to change as the weeks go on, right? But I do think that these numbers will continue to decline. I don't know if we'll get below 4 though. I don't know if we'll get below 4. So it's a pretty good solid game there at the beginning and mid stage. We'll see once players get to end game how they feel about it, and who knows, maybe Amazon will come out with a roadmap and improve the end game content. Time will tell. So, but yeah, thanks for stopping by, watching the video. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Sunsets on that desert sky. It's just you.